record button, and we are bringing on Radiah Hubbert. She is the founder of Urban Reviews Online. She is also the founder of the Great Midwest Book Fest, because I always want to say Lit Fest.
And it's Hubbert.
Oh, I got something wrong. Damn, I could never do right by you.
That's okay. You got my first name right. So usually people both right. So
Radiah,
both wrong. That's
indeed,
okay.
indeed. Well, I want people to know about Urban Reviews Online, because the event is part of Urban Reviews Online, where you give a platform for authors of all genres, not just urban books. Because sometimes when people say urban reviews, you know, they only think that it is for street lit, thug love, however, but you have other authors at your events, sci-fi, people like me, some of the tribe members have been there. So how did you get started? Because there wasn't a lot of people starting literary events. I think you're in your 12th, 13th.
This will be well, it was supposed to be in June, but of course, Rona happened. Can you hear me, by the way?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Well, of course, it was supposed to be in June. It was supposed to be the 12th year. So we're taking that virtual. And hi, everybody in the chat. So we're taking it virtual. And so it's going to be next month on November 7th. So it's the 12th annual Great Midwest Book Fest, and I call it presents the November to Remember. So that's what it is. I started the book fest. Well, actually, it was me and my late husband. We both started Urban Reviews Online. It was in July of 2005, because at the time, you know, I was just very, my day job at the time, I was very dissatisfied with it. And I was always reading. At that time, I read like about almost 10 books a month. That was back then, like 10 books a month. And I started kind of reviewing a little bit on Amazon, but not really. And I was fine. And I saw, I was following other reviewers, you know, other review sites. And then my husband at the time, you know, he was like, well, why don't you do this? You know, we can go ahead and do a website too. And he was like, well, I know how to do websites. See, he used to know how to do code. He used to actually put the codes in. You don't have to do that anymore, thank goodness. But so he said, well, why don't we go ahead and give this a go? At first, Urban Reviews Online, at first we reviewed books and music. I did the books, he did the music. So he started getting dissatisfied with the music industry and everything. And then also he saw how huge the website was getting, because at the time we went ahead and I had the, you know, I said, well, I'm looking for reviewers. I was just reviewing, it was just me at the time, just reviewing books. And I was like, oh, okay, so I'll just put my address out there and people will just send your books. But people were sending all of their books. Like if somebody wrote 10 books, they were sending 10 books, you know? And so I said, he said, we've got to take this, and we have to take this address off of here. And and that's when I started getting like reviewer guidelines and some other people that helped me earlier, like TC Royal from Raw Sisters. She was a mentor to me. Because I was like, can I pick your brain for a second? And she was like, yeah. So I was asking her like, well, how do you do review guidelines? How do you, suggest, what do you do, to pick books and everything? So it was just a love of reading that started Urban Reviews Online. Then later on, when we started the book fest, I just looked around because there was not a lot of people that were coming to Milwaukee. A lot of authors were not coming to Milwaukee. They always came to Chicago. So I would always run down to Chicago to go to the book fest, to go to different book events. Naleighna, of course, I've been to yours several times.
Yes, you have.
And and so I would always run there, sometimes to St. Louis, other places. And I'm like, well, how come we can't do that here? And so that's what made me do the book fest here as well. So
Awesome. Yes, you have been very, very supportive of other events, because I don't just see you at my event, I see you at other literary events as well. So how does an author present to you to be reviewed by your team? Because it's not just you have a team.
Well, okay, so I do have Okay, now what happened was I do have a team, but life is getting in the way for some people. So it's only me and two other people right now. So we're probably going to see if we can get more people. As far as, so it was a team. At first, I did have like about 8 people, but then sometimes people went off and they actually did their own, review sites too, or life just got too busy for people and they were just like, I can't do it. So as far as presenting a book, I do have submission guidelines on urbanreviewsonline.com. And what I do is I have people, you have to send me a first chapter. You have to send me a first chapter excerpt. The reason why I ask for a first chapter excerpt is because that lets me know that gives me a proper introduction to the book. For me as a reader, I don't like when people have excerpts and it's like chapter 10. I'm like, okay, it might be in the middle of something. I don't know I don't know what's happening. Like for review purposes, I always ask people to do the first chapter and I read the chapter. And if I accept it, I'll go ahead and I'll email you and say, well, hey, we're accepting it. I'll give you like the email to send like either the ebook or I'll send you the physical address to send the physical book.
Awesome, awesome. So what has been your favorite review that you've done?
Oh, wow.
I say like, oh my God, this one right here.
Now you knew she was gonna throw you on the spot.
I know, but I saw.
Okay, let me give you top three. Top three.
Let me see. Oh boy, it's been so many. I'll get some recent ones. Wait, let me see. Okay, so some recent ones is this one.
The original cover.
Yes,
the original cover.
Yes, because okay, just real quick. Because the thing is that there's a twist in here that I wasn't expecting. Of course, I'm not going to tell it, but it was something. I'm like, well, wait a minute, what's happening? So this was Love, Lust, and Beautiful Liars, the original cover. Shakira Rashan. That was one of my
new cover right down there. He's trying to say.
New cover, yeah, the new cover's right there. And I saw that new cover. I was like, wait, where? I was like, where's mine?
Yeah, trust me. It had to be done. I'm like, it was what it was. No problems as far as that was. But I'll get the new one done when I get the production square. I'll get that new one to you. No problem.
I like the new cover too. I do. I like the new cover because it really fits the story. Okay, another one is. I just had to pull some ones, of course, that I have hundreds, but I mean, and then it was this one by Trice Hickman.
Yes.
The Other Side. I really liked this one. And she has a second one coming out soon. Okay, and then this one is from a couple years ago. Okay, so my books don't usually look like this, but this was stuck under the couch. So I'm just gonna so I don't want people to think that I'm just damaging the book. I'm sorry, everybody. Okay, so it's because it's called Redemption Lost by Mark Avery. He's an independent author as well. This book is it's about a young screenwriter. And and the ups and downs and everything about what he goes through life and everything. So you're reading it, and then like almost towards the end, you're like, wait a minute, what is happening? Then it just ends. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, I don't want this character to do that. What are you doing? So those are my 3 recent ones. But I mean, there's been like a lot over the years. But I had to think today. I was like, oh boy, I don't know what to. Naleighna, she did give me that question, and I was like, I don't know what to pick. I said, let me hurry and pick something real quick. So.
Yep.
Here's a question that came from one of the groups online, writers groups. How do you maintain a good variety of material for your website?
Oh, that's a good one.
No lie.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Well, the thing is that I try to look for, because I do have people who like I review like a lot of genres, but I do have someone that reviews like romance, and I try to go ahead and try to get something of every genre because African American writers, it's so many genres that African American writers write in, and so I try to make sure that I'm not getting like all women's fiction or all like Christian fiction, or oh, it was another one. It was Tiffany Warren, All the Things I Should Have Known. I think I'm saying it wrong, but it was her last.
I think that's it.
Yeah, all things. Yeah, that was one. Okay, but I try to make sure that I have like a variety. Like I'll even read sci-fi. Sometimes I'll read horror. So it all depends on what we're reviewing at the time, and if it's something like really, that's how I try to keep a variety.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you asked for that first chapter, and you can tell from the first chapter if it's worthy of being read and reviewed. But suppose you get that first chapter and they've had that first chapter edited all the way down to the nines, and you get into the book and like, what the hell happened? So what do you do at that point if you've accepted a book for review and that first chapter was the bomb, and then the rest of it was like, this not by the same author?
Well, I have to still, well, because I accepted it, I still have to review it and complete it. Like it's a lot of reviewers over the years that I've had, they'll say, okay, I really don't like this book. And I'll say, I'll take it. And they were like, well, what do you mean? I was like, well, it still has to be reviewed. I mean, you have to still finish it. So I'll take it. And my late husband at the time, he was like, you cannot take all these people's books, okay? He was like, somebody has to do it, because I have a big, well, right now I still have a big stack. And that was the hardest thing of being a reviewer, is that you get all these ARCs. And now with Corona, you know, you get them through NetGalley too, the digital ARCs. And I had to stop clicking on stuff because I'm like, okay, I can't review all these, you know. So, but if it is a chapter, there have been some books like that where the first chapter was fine and I keep reading it and I'm just like, okay, what's going on with this book? But I have to soldier through and then really think about like, okay, what am I going to give it? You know, like what, as far as like a rating and everything, and how am I going to review this book?
Have you ever posted a book that was less than 3 stars?
Yes.
Did you get backlash from any authors because of it?
This one author, they said they appreciated my review. They did. Now I have gotten backlash from authors because my scale is 1 to 5. I have gotten some backlash from authors over the years because I gave it a 4 instead of a 5. I went back and forth over this author. I went back and forth through email from this author one time because it was a 4 instead of a 5. And they were trying to convince me that it was a 5. I'm like, okay, but a 4 is still fine though. Like it's not, you know, it's not a 1, but they acted like it was a 1. So there's that. I get that too.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed, indeed. So have you ever had a author come up to you and say, you know what, this review kind of, I was just thinking about probably putting my pen down and I read your review and it gave me life?
Yes, there has been someone. She did say that. She said that, you know, because you read my review, she was like, I wasn't sure if I was going to continue, you know, writing and everything. And she said, you really gave me, you know, the push to go ahead and continue. And she's she's still kind of continuing, because sometimes I'll sneak in her messenger and then I'll just put like, you know how you just have the eyes where you're looking, I'll just look like, okay,
with that book.
Are you writing? Like, I'm like, what are you doing? Or when she said, or she has a status, they'll say, well, I'm writing. I'm like, are you? Where is it? She was like, I knew you were coming.
Yes, indeed, indeed. What has been the best experience for you as a reviewer, in the sense of, you know, putting on your event? First, you went from online reviews and then doing your event. What has been this best experience as a literary person, as a bookaholic, so to speak? You know, is it the transition from that, and that you know, still going forward with it? Because I know I loved your husband. I mean, not in that way.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean.
I loved him. And the thing about it is, you know, seeing his face, every time we saw you, we saw him, you know, and that's why some of us in the tribe have stepped forward. Now that void is there, that when you need help, we are your tech help, we are your graphic help, because he set that legacy, and we do that to keep you pushing forward.
Thank
in
you.
order to not give up that and he set a standard for the way things needed to look.
Yeah, he did. And that was my first thing. Like when he passed, because he showed me some things, but he did all the graphics, all the postcards, and he even like created, like we used to have we still have ads on the website, but I tell people, okay, you need to create your own ads. Because he used to do that too. I mean, we used to have like the flash graphics, but we stopped it. But I mean, the most rewarding thing for me is when I ask someone if they want to go ahead and be like a featured author and they say yes. Like I get so excited. And then sometimes I have to stop from fangirling sometimes because I'll talk to people, but inside I'm like, oh, there they are.
I think Stephanie Freeman is feeling attacked.
Yeah,
Stephen Barnes. Oh my God. She
bit.
almost passed out. Stephen Barnes was on this weekend.
And Stephanie Freeman, I was gonna say, I was like, you just don't know. I've had so many fangirl moments, like going to other events and everything. Cause I remember the good thing for me is it's been rewarding that people still come and then that people still ask about, you know, the book events and everything, because I mean, when I did lose my husband, that was my partner, you know, in this business too. And I was just getting ready to say, you know, I'm going to stop everything. You know, I'm going to stop everything. That's it. But then something told me, I was like, well, I don't want to stop this. So, you know, I want to, you know, keep continuing and everything. But the biggest thing is when people say like, yes, I'll do it. And I'm just like, oh, this person, or when I email, I'll just be like, I know this person not gonna say yes, but let me just go ahead and do it anyway. So that's one of the biggest moments. Another thing is that when I go to other events and I see people, like I'll never forget when I went, this was years ago, 2014, I think, when I went to National Book Club Conference. And I saw Bernice McFadden and Gloria Millette. They came up to me and they were like, well, hey, you know, condolences and everything. And then when Bernice McFadden said, you know, let's take a selfie, I was like, okay. And then my heart was racing like, oh, I can't believe it, because they're like one of my 2 all-time favorite authors. And I said, I cannot believe she wanted to take a selfie. I said, I feel like a kid. But yeah, so that's why Stephanie Freeman, when you were fanning out with Stephen Barnes the other day, I felt that, because I was like, that's how I am with some of the authors. And a good feeling is that when people tell me that they're glad that I'm doing this, because a lot of people say that, you know, they don't get a chance, you know, to meet the authors. And I like at my events, you know, I just kind of step back and let other people ask the questions and everything, because everyone doesn't get that opportunity.
That's so awesome. So awesome. So what are you currently reading?
I'm currently reading And Now She's Gone. It's by, wait a minute.
I hope it doesn't look like that other book. That other book looks from the flow down, needing to check up from the neck up.
It's an online. No, this one is an online galley. That's why I was like, so yeah, it's Rachel Housel Hall. It's called And Now She's Gone. She's a mystery writer. She's a Black mystery writer that I actually just found out about her this year, but she's been out. You know, she's been at, you know, she goes to like, you know, the mystery, you know, mystery is one of the genres where it's not a lot of African-American audience. I don't think it's a big African-American audience. So sometimes you'll see like some Black mystery writers, they'll be at different conferences. You know what I mean? They won't necessarily be at the African-American conferences. So I'm just getting on to her late, but this is her latest one. And Now She's Gone. I'm almost finished with. It's very good. So.
Yeah, it must be something about you Milwaukee readers, because I will tell you, the first time I ever came to the Great Midwest Book Fest, there was somebody who only brought half of Every Woman Needs a Wife because it was tore. I was like, so, and then I just saw the book that you did. I'm like, yeah. Must be a Milwaukee thing.
And I have to tell you something, Naleighna. The first time you came to Milwaukee, because we saw online that you had, you know, Cavalcade of authors, and I think you reached out to me, but I'm not sure, when you first came to one of the book fests. And I remember Charles was just watching you like sell books, right? And then I remember he had whispered to me, he was like, this woman is serious. He was like, this woman is serious. She is selling. He said, wait a minute. He said, no, we have to have her back. He said, because he said, this woman is serious. She is really selling books, like really, really selling, like not just sitting there and stuff. He said, yeah, she's a regular. That's what he said. He said, she's not playing. I said, no, she's not. He was like, wait a minute, where is she from again? He was like, this is a serious author. I said, mm-hmm. And I said, so that I enjoy that too. And I enjoy when people interact and everything with, at the book fest and everything. So I really like that. So
awesome. I'm so glad you told me that. I'm so tickled. I'm so tickled. He's like, she's serious. She's serious.
Yeah, he did. He was like, she is serious. She is, because I was like, because I was looking too, because I was watching. I was like, she is really serious with these books. I said, well, wait a minute, because he was like, look at how many books she's selling. He was like, well, we're just gonna stand back over here, because he was gonna take a picture like of you in action. He was like, wait. He was like, well, wait. I said, well, just take a picture of her in action, not like stop, because we want to stop you selling. And so I was just like at romance. I mean, you guys, even when she was at when you were
RT Book Lovers Convention.
Book Lovers Convention, I think that was in Chicago, and we were getting ready to come up to you, and then we saw let me see. So we saw this white woman come up to your, and she was reading the back of Every Woman Needs a Wife. We were gonna come up to say hi. We were like, wait. I said, wait. I said, she's in the middle of a sale, watch. And then he was like, yeah, we got what. He said, wait. He said, nope, wait, let's wait. And so I was watching, and then she did buy it. I said, you can sell anywhere. You can sell anywhere. So just wanted to give you kudos to that.
Thank you so much.
I've seen you in action, yeah. I've seen you in action, like selling anywhere, because I was like, wait, let's wait.
Yeah. I had focused very heavily on the sales side, and didn't realize how important the review side was.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of reviews for Every Woman Needs a Wife, but not necessarily for all the other books. But I think readers, they're afraid, the fear of offending sometimes keeps them from it, or they don't think it's of value. And that's why we ended up going to NetGalley. And you're on NetGalley. So we've been getting, well, you've been in your TBR pile, so the nights have been neglected. I'm just gonna say hint. So anyway.
Yes, I know, because I was like, let me stop accepting, because you were like, by the time you get to it, we're gonna be on to a new series, because you were just talking about the queens. I said, okay, you know what? Let me just stop right now until I can go ahead and do this. I said, because this is too many, because it's like you guys are cranking it out. And I'm like, it's another book already? And I was like, okay, let me just stop. I said, let me just stop requesting, because wait a minute. But yeah.
But being part of NetGalley is very important too, because they vet some of and Midnight Ace Book Bar, she's also on NetGalley. It's important because remember that barrier I talked about between Amazon and getting reviews on? There is that clean barrier. There are reviews that will not get on Amazon static, but they will organically come from NetGalley. But they won't allow them to come on, like you can copy and paste and put it on there, because they want you to spend, I think they're asking people to spend $50 that week.
$50.
Yes, they want you to spend $50 within the last 12 months. And see, I didn't know that until I guess over a course of a few years. I guess maybe I have spent $50 and didn't know it, because I never had a problem, because I've been on Amazon since 1997. Like, I've had an Amazon account since then. And I'm a affiliate with them, associate too. So when I was trying to upload a review this past January, and they were like, well, you can't review because you haven't spent $50. So I'm like, what? Because people were like, it's been like that. And I was like, well, I never knew that. So then instantly I was like, well, where can I post my reviews? I said, well, wait a minute, I'm still posting them on my website. And when I do share it on social media, it is the direct link to the review that goes back to my website. And then people were like, okay, you do, of course, NetGalley, but the ones that I don't get from NetGalley, you can do NetGalley and you can do Goodreads. So that was because I had panicked at first. And I said, well, wait a minute, people are still coming to my website too. And then, I make sure I share those direct links so it goes back to my website. But Amazon, I mean, it's a monster, and it's really, I mean, I remember Charles told me a long time ago, he said, well, you know, Amazon can do whatever they want because it's their business. But I mean, I don't know, I don't want to really talk about them, but
Yeah, let's not, because I am recording.
yes, I know. That's why I was going to say, wait a minute, this is being recorded. So yeah, but
Wait for it.
I have to say some of their practices are not very
friendly. They're not very author friendly.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Yeah.
Indeed,
Mm-hmm.
indeed. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up this segment. Give us that website one more again.
Again.
It's so it is Urban Reviews with an S online.com. And then on there you'll see, you can go ahead and, well, wait, I could drop it in here. You'll see there are book review guidelines, and then there's advertising guidelines, and there's also other information, you know, other reviews on there and everything. So it's urbanreviews.com. I'm sorry, urbanreviewsonline.com. Did I put it in the yeah, I did. So yeah, I just put the link right there. So those are book review submission guidelines, and there's advertising guidelines. And there's also information on there for the upcoming book fest.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm checking off my list. You say making my list and checking it twice, and make sure I keep up with who's next. And we thank you for being part of it. And the Great Midwest Book Fest is taking place when?
It is November 7th. It's on Zoom, and it's from 1 to 5.
1 to 5 on that, and that's a Saturday, right?
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday, November 7th.
And how can people, do they go online to get it, or is there a link you can drop there for them to register?
Yeah, it's a link. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, it's a link for, and I finished just in time because I don't know if you guys heard this, but my cat is meowing. He's like, excuse me.
No, we didn't hear it.
Yeah,
he was telling you, V. Helena's cat said, are we done?
Yeah,
are we done?
Yeah, he was meowing real low just now, like, excuse me, but it's time to eat. So, okay, so this is to register. So this is the bit.ly link. Well, it goes right to the Eventbrite, and anyone who registers and actually attends, they'll actually get a free ebook.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Radiah.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Indeed. So are you going to stick around? I'm going to put you in the backyard. Okay, so I will do that right now. And